Welcome, my name is Alicia Little and today I'll be talking to you about a lesson that you can do with your grade 3 students looking at symmetry. It is a three-part activity. The first part is teacher-centred and the two activities themselves are based with students. So firstly, you'll gather the students into an area where they can all sit together and you can talk to them about the learning intention for the day, which is understanding and identifying symmetry within their environment. So first you'll need to explore the students' prior knowledge, so whether they know what symmetry is, whether they don't know what symmetry is. And this you can ask just a simple question. Do they know? Does anybody know what symmetry is? Then once you've done that, we'll need to unpack that core concept itself. So making sure that all students understand what symmetry is. Now this can be done using a whiteboard or with pre-prepared artefacts like a love heart shape as an example, with a clear line of symmetry drawn through it. So then you can explain to the students the concept of symmetry and how one object itself can look exactly the same. So the mirror image in regards to the object that you're talking about. The next part of the activity is where the students will go back to their tables and in small groups they will find a kit that's provided, and that kit will have symmetrical and non-symmetrical items within it, and they're to sit down and discuss what's symmetrical about the items and what's not symmetrical about the items. So really so that they can gather an understanding of symmetrical and non-symmetrical and classify those two two different types of objects within that kit. Once the students have done that, they will need to choose an item and come and sit back down on the floor, and they'll discuss the items themselves and whether they're symmetrical or non-symmetrical. After that, we'll move on to part 2 of the activity, which is where the students will pair up into groups of 2, and they'll actually go outside into their environment, and they will collect 3 items that can be symmetrical or non-symmetrical. Now this can be done either by collecting the items themselves or using their BYO devices. If they don't have that, if you've got digital cameras within the room that they can use, you can do that as well. So they don't actually have to bring the items inside if they don't want to. Once they've done that, we'll get them to come back inside. They'll sit back at their desks and they will look at the items that they've gathered and draw a clear line of symmetry through them, and identify by noting down what is symmetrical or what is not symmetrical about it. So if they have gathered items that aren't symmetrical, they can clearly identify why they're not symmetrical, and give a brief statement about each object that they've collected. Once that's happened, we can then gather up those, or the project itself, and you'll be able to identify whether the students have gained the knowledge of symmetry or whether they haven't. So then you'll know whether you need to create another lesson plan that's maybe a little bit different for the students. Thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it, and have a good day.